guys, welcome back. You're here with Jade at #IMakePodcastsforFun, where we discuss all the good stuff and waffle. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm back with a special group discussion for you guys, because I know you lot love the mix-up and the talks. And today, I've got quite a few special guests, some that you're familiar with, and also some new additions. So first of all, I'm here with Ruth.
Hi all.
Aseye.
Hey guys.
Jason.
Hello guys, hello.
And our new addition, Ibs.
Yeah, right, everyone.
Yeah, so how are you guys all today?
I'm good. Ready for the topic?
I'm gassed up, so...
We're ready.
We're all ready.
Yeah,
so, one thing that we all know is that we love social media, innit? Like, how often do you guys use social media on a day-to-day? I can't even say.
Probably every day.
Every day, yeah. First thing in the morning, last thing in the night.
Exactly, and everything in between. Like, we're just always by our phones most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
you know what it is? It's like lockdown made it way worse, though.
Yes.
Came way more dependable on it.
Yeah.
Do you guys have that thing, yeah? I think every Sunday, your phone sends you something that shows, it's like...
time.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. Since March...
That makes me embarrassed, like.
It's so embarrassing.
It really detects you, you know?
It really hurts. Because it makes you think, like, do I not have a life? Like, I'm doing bad. And my watch, like, is so peak. But...
You end up understanding why your parents are always so annoyed at you for always being on your phone. You're just...
That's why, what if you stub your toe, it's because of your phone. If you...
100%. Nothing else. Like, the amount of times, and you know what, it's always on the same spot. Like, there's a certain door in my house. Every time I just stub my toe at one door. Like, me and that door, we're actually ops now.
And it's always when you're angry as well. It's never when you're happy.
Let's not even discuss the pain. Yeah.
One time I was having an argument.
It's not enough for you to cry, but it's not enough for you to just burn it.
No. It's enough for you to cry. It's enough to make a grown man cry.
You just cuss bad word and call it a day. I don't be crying,
but you have to burn it. Yeah, it's alright.
It makes you drop to your knees. Word, you're just there. You're just on the floor doing a Peter Griffin.
Oh my days!
With the arm
Don't even kill me. That's so accurate. But you know what? Since we're on the topic of social media, one thing that I was deep in the other day was Snapchat. Now, Snapchat has actually come a long way from... I first started using Snapchat when I was in late year 7. So, because everybody already had it. I was kind of a latecomer. I don't know when Snapchat actually came out. But it took me a long time to hop on the wave. So, since I've started and up until now, I'm sure you can all agree, like, it's like the evolution has been crazy. But one feature,
changed so much.
One feature that Snap introduced that we all probably use, private stories,
Oh my God.
Private stories, I was deep in the other day, like, this is the topic that we're going to talk about, because it's been heavy on my mind. Like, I've just been saying, no, because there's pros and cons. Has Snapchat, by introducing private stories, has Snapchat actually ruined its own app? Would you say Snapchat's gone dead now that we have private stories?
Snapchat was already getting dead. Yeah, it was. I think it really has been dragged on.
Yeah.
I think because, especially in the UK scene, I think the way, like influencers and people with like platforms and stuff, they use their Snapchat to kind of stunt and things like that. They do influence a lot of people to then stay on the app. I feel like if it wasn't for things like that, a lot of people wouldn't be using it as much. It really has
it's
lost
not
its
really
value.
for fun anymore. It's for like a image presentation.
Do you know what as well? Because private stories, they came along, right? So like people, obviously you show your best parts on social media, right? But like I'm starting to see private stories where I'm seeing like the real you on your private, but then it's like on the main you're trying to prove to everybody that you live this type of lifestyle.
Let me not even get started on the course.
Like what?
They are so annoying.
And then you have private stories of people like that just what's it called? Like, they have people in there that they don't really like.
Yeah. Oh my days, no, Aseye. Do you know I'm actually so happy you brought that up. You see, with private stories, this is what adds me out. Yeah. Is a private story not supposed to be confidential? How I see a private story is, I picture it. This is imagery, yeah. A private story is like having your close friends in your house, like you're all sitting in your front room and you're chilling. If you didn't like someone, would you let them in your house?
No.
So why are they in your private story?
I feel like it also depends on what you post or you utilize that private story for.
Yes.
Because another thing I've realized, is that people obviously, as you mentioned before, they like to use their name to stunt and do stuff. That's when I was like, you know, when things like when Selfridges said they were starting to rent things out, I was like, let these girls on Snapchat not hear about this, because more time they'll just rent a Louis Vuitton bag for that day just to post on Snapchat. You understand what I'm saying? The way social media is so sad.
She said what she said, yo.
Image is killing my people.
It is. So that's what makes private stories.
It's like people have friends on Snap, and they feel like, oh, I have to be added to this private story. It's like you kind of feel bad for not adding certain people to your private story. Like, it's like people feel pressure to add people. That's why people have so many. Like,
and that's why people start lying as well. They start lying, like, you know, like they might be like, I don't have a private story. Yeah. But that's the thing, like,
your friend is screenshotting and I can see his story. So what do you mean?
Exactly. That causes beef, you know. But the problem is, a private story, it shouldn't. Society is just bare sensitive. I've noticed there's a lot of people that just look for things to get upset about. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if I had a good friend and I wasn't in their private story, I'd be thinking, okay, that's a bit odd. But maybe maybe that private story is for a specific purpose. Like, for example, you might have a private story where, like, it's for your close ones and your ones, like, you're cool. But then you might have a next private story that's for your immediates where you just act a fool. Like, there's different categories.
Yeah. Do you guys think there's a point for, like, different categories? Because sometimes it can get long. Because your private story, it just should be, like, private story. Just send them directly to all those people. Like, if you want them to see it. I think, I don't really post, I think, me personally, I don't really post a lot of private things on my private story. It's just that I don't want to post it on my main. And I think I sometimes use my private as a place where I know people aren't going to judge me. So I'm just I'm going to be myself there. It's not something that everyone needs to see, kind of thing. I keep my names like it's posting on Instagram and it's going to say that more than 24 hours.
Like, you know what it is, like on the main story you'll be so prideful, but your private story you'll do stuff that you only do around your friends, like.
And you know what's encouraged it?
But to be fair, we have to remember that this society is filled with clout chasing. It's just to the point where it gets ridiculous, like, and it's like what you said before about the thing of like stunting on your main, just for people to pop up and just be curious, like. But you don't have to stunt, like. And just,
also,
you know, a lot of guys will be out and tripped down this sign or what, they'll be sitting on like metal bed, like, and broken bed frames, like.
No,
or next day I see your mains and you have like an old Puma trackie and you're just more like that, like, and you have them. I thought you owe me £20. Why do you have a JD bag, like?
That's why they would make the private story, because private story is where you can have your secrecy. Because me, I'm a kind of, by default, I'm a private person. So even in my private stories and my main story, I still don't bait out my business. But one thing that encouraged me to get a private story, I think it depends how bait you are on socials. I think if you're only getting around 10 views or something, you don't really need a private story. But if you're bare bait, you know, one thing that put me off was, you know, on Twitter, for example, you might see someone did a snap and now it's trending. Like, you don't know what, like, you could casually post something and it might go viral.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you don't, and sometimes if you have randoms on your snap, they don't owe you anything, so they'll violate. Some people are looking to violate people for clout.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's worse when you don't know what's being said about you. Like, that element of snaps being sent around. Like, do you know them ones there when your snap has been sent to a group chat or something?
Yeah,
and
you
then
don't even know.
the number of views on that snap is way higher than the ones that you posted before.
Yeah.
So you clock. There's different faces and there's other people watching from subscriptions. Like, I know you don't have me on Snap. So.
And do you know what? There's people that you could have on Snap here, and you might not know them, you might not. But like, for me, example, like everyone I have on Snap, I know, but not everybody's in my private story because we're not like the best of friends. Like, we're not the coolest friends like that. But I'm still gonna have you on my normal Snap so you can see like my main story, but my private story because I don't know, like we don't talk like that. So I don't know if we're gonna go and feed information from my private story because that's happened, you know, and I have to kick people out.
Oh yeah, no,
feeding information to people who are not in my story.
And private stories, that's where it can cause drama because you know what, Snapchat overall, ever since I've been using it, I haven't been someone that's prone to being shady on socials. One thing with me, I speak what's on my mind, but it's not intended with shade. Like, for example, if I just want to do a quick rant or whatever, it's not to shade nobody, it's just me expressing myself. But you don't
why
know...
do people shade people in their priv though? That's
it
what
doesn't...
I don't get.
Look, I don't
Why
know.
are they in your priv?
That's not childish behaviour. It's called half-hearted.
It's a bit social personalized.
It's half-hearted. Very
I feel like
half-hearted.
it's a very year 8 mentality.
Yeah,
like all I'm
Indirect
saying
should have
is
been left in year 8.
Yeah. Can you not indirect me to my face? Are you not embarrassed? Like, come on now.
Just say it.
Bro, like, just say it to me.
If you've got an issue, tell me.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's
but I don't
the
understand why you're in
private
my-
story, just
like-
2 people in there. Like, they just add you in there so they can shade you in private. It doesn't make sense.
That's so, that's so bad though.
And another thing, don't add me to your freaky private story with your quotes.
I had to leave.
Oh no.
Well, that's so annoying. Like, I just see like these
Bare
quotes
pornography
and
on the
like,
tea.
what are you doing? Like,
Oh no.
like just stop.
Guys,
Like,
what do you guys think of girls that add their MCMs in a private story?
I
and
would.
It's just for them.
Oh no, not that. I mean, like, having them in like, if someone had their man in a private story or something, I think that you could. It
I
depends what
think
you're
if there's
trying
nothing to
post.
hide, if you're genuine and there's nothing to hide, then I don't really see an issue. Like, I feel like it depends on the type of relationship you have with them and the type of content you post as well. Because if you're posting nothing that's too deep, like you're drinking a cup of tea or you're listening to a certain song, I don't see an issue with your MCM being in that story. Because it's like, you're not doing anything too deep, you just don't want to post it on your main. But I feel like that's why a lot of girls make only girls private stories as well. But I don't know, like, he doesn't have to see everything, but I'm not completely against him being in a priv.
Yeah.
But what if, okay, say now you're in a relationship with a guy, yeah? You guys have been together for a while. You've never been in his private story. He's never been in yours. You guys both know you have a private story. Do you think there's a problem with you not being in his and he's not being in yours?
No, I would just assume it's for the man them, like, just like
But what
how...
if you seeing that girls are in there, maybe like your friends are in there or like his friends are in yours?
Oh, then hell no. Like, what that don't make
I
no
feel
sense.
like a normal relationship, if someone is like, if I as a female have got him in my private story and he does not return the energy,
Take
the
him
door
out.
is right there. I really
The
think
door.
What
that
do you have to hide? Okay, like,
because you are not having girl them in your private story.
Ibs and
And I
Jason,
push you, man. I'm
would
not
you want to
dickhead.
be in your girl's private story?
What'd you say?
For Ibs and Jason, like, would you guys want to be in your girl's private story?
would
Or
I want to be in? Would I what?
Would you want to be in your girl's private story?
If she respects me like that, then it wouldn't have to be a question.
you shouldn't have to. Yeah.
Oh, I love the way you worded that. What?
But to be
Well,
fair,
But what if she
I
just
would.
doesn't want you there? Like, what if she just...
I would.
Oh, I'm so sorry. No, I'm sorry. Hey, no. I lost it. Nah.
But fam,
Ibs just got caught.
Dave, you're gonna
I
have
would
to
like-
bleep that out.
yeah,
No, it's cool. It's
therefore,
cool. Ibs just got in the spirit for a good
Like,
second.
I even ruined it. It was all going good.
No, no one cares like
You know
that.
what it is? It takes a different type of nerve. Like,
Okay, no, have you ever, has this happened to you guys? Have you ever been told that something was going on about you in a private story that you weren't in? So
Yeah.
say someone said something about you in a private story and then someone says like, oh, do you know what I mean? Has that ever happened to you guys?
Yeah. People that we have on social.
Most times just jobless people, like.
Oh my
days.
No, it's true. It's jobless people there.
I think in terms of how private stories has impacted Snapchat, it's made everybody a bit self-conscious, because now, I don't know if it's just me, when I have a nice post, I always have that quick 30-second dilemma. Is this for the main? Or is this for my private story? And that's where, when we was in school, for example, Snap was more fun because people didn't care. You was just posting it straight to the main. And if you didn't think it was for the main, you would have just sent the Snap to whoever you wanted to see it.
Yeah.
But now it's just like more time. It would look dry when you're going through the people you have on Snap. But it's not that they're not using it, it's just that you're not in their private story. So then it's just like, what's the point?
Like, if there's an issue between me and you, and you've decided to take it to social media, then I will also take it to social media.
Oh, no, not social media drama. I try not to.
No, but I will. No, but if I've come to you privately and asked you what's going on, but you still decide to post it on your name, then I will also take it to social media to express.
I remember days here you go on Snap.
To social media.
Yeah.
No, you go on Snap and you see people arguing.
Listen. There was an issue in college, like where this decided to accuse me of plagiarism when it was my work. Yeah. I'm not gonna mention the name.
Damn.
But good Lord, I messaged her privately. I was like, listen, like, what's going on here? Like, this isn't even sorted. But then she was already on her Snap, on her story, mentioning my name and saying,
it don't make sense.
Like, you stole my work, and
on her private story or on the mains?
On the mains, like on the mains.
She was trying to draw you out. She said,
I said, wow.
She said,
don't care about
I said, wow, you want to take it there? Let's go.
Why does social media have to know about your schoolwork? I don't understand.
That's what I'm saying, like.
When people have an audience, they get gassed at, they get excited. Like,
the audience is killing our people. The funny thing. That's where you get out.
But here's the funny thing, right?
Yeah.
The homework was due in February. I had done mine in December, and I had uploaded it in January. It wasn't even due till February. That was the funny thing about it, and it was all saved on my USB. So, and I proved her A plus B that it was mine.
But you see,
we're gonna be at her door tomorrow.
And then this girl comes mocking me when she gets caught. She's like, no, it's okay, Jason. I know you want to have my IQ. I said, look at this.
Oh my days.
I said, look at this.
No.
Look at you.
No, she's
look at your life. You want to be your receiver when you're at court. You want to be all this nonsense. After that, you know, and I was cool with the person. You get it? Like, I was actually so cool with the person. But then after that, like, I was just like, wow. So this is how social media got you off.
Exactly.
And if you see this person's story, like, they act like, everyone's supposed to be scared of her. Like, I'm the big bad wolf. Half a heart, you know, like.
No, but that's social media for you. I think, like, the moment with everything, from you post it on social media, you can't take it back. Whether that's an inappropriate picture, whether that's a shade that you threw at someone, you put it out there. You cannot take it back. It's the same as chatting worse about someone to someone else about someone. You can't take it back because that's stored in someone's head. It's a history file. So with everything we do, you having a private story or not, you still have to be careful because you've put something out there, regardless if it's the main or the private story. I know some people move reckless in their private stories. Like, I've heard stories where people have even posted nudes there. You still can't take it back. You're not safe. You doing that on a private story or main story, you're gonna. Do you know what I mean? Someone could have easily screenshot that. Once that's in someone else's phone, you're actually at their mercy. You can't. Like, what? You could say take that down or delete it, but it's still up to them. They could say they deleted it and still have it. Like, you can't control it once it gets into other people's devices. Like, it's really sticky. Like, a private story, that's why I know, like, private stories get viewed as the safe spot, but it's not really safe. I will still be careful with everything I do.
Social media too much.
Word, like, let me not even get started on the fraudsters, man. these fraudsters. Let me not even get started on them. Everyday squares, but I see you every day in the same coat. Like,
Everyone's getting drawn out in this book.
18 plus only.
Please send from the armpits and that, like, bro.
Have you seen that one?
I've seen 25-year-olds post that as well, man.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
I've seen big men post 18 plus. I'm like, bro.
You know what then? Would you guys rather want Snapchat to have a private story or not? Like, have that whole option? Did you prefer when it was there?
you know what? If Snapchat was a private story, you don't see people be posting like that.
If there wasn't one.
Posting on their name like they don't give a...
Private stories
I think now the fact that I feel like we're built to adapt. We were working perfectly fine before private stories and life was the way it was. I feel like once that the option is put there, that's when our whole mindset then changes. Because if it was never there in the first place, then we would have found a way to maneuver around.
You know what it is?
True, but now that
After
it's been
private
there,
stories
it's
came
going to
in,
be hard for us to forget about it.
after private stories came in, like everyone kind of got off Snap in a way. You get it? Like they weren't as active on Snap as they was before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so, like,
because
every update they're making,
they keep ruining the app.
Yeah.
They don't listen to people's feedback.
I feel like there'll be something new that'll come soon that'll take over from Snapchat. Because Snapchat's something where it's not like Instagram and Facebook, for example, where when they evolve, like, do you know what I mean? Snapchat's more like a spontaneous, on-the-spot thing. That was its intention. Instagram's the one where it's about mostly presentation, but Snapchat was supposed to be lighthearted. So it's like, and they can only evolve to a certain point because their style is so unique compared to like Instagram. Like Instagram even stole some things from Snapchat, some features, but Snapchat can't go too far and do a thing where it's like everyone has a profile and stuff like that, because that's when it'll just get rinsed. People just be like, oh, you're doing this, I might as well just go and use Instagram. So I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to evolve in a limit, because they know they can't go past a certain...
They keep stealing ideas from each other, man.
Yeah, because Instagram, that's the thing. Instagram just takes features from different apps, like in a way, but it's like it gets away with it, because we never used to have that story. Instagram never used to have stories. Little things like that, like they take things, but...
Neither does Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook too, but Snapchat can't then put profiles, for example. Like, Snapchat can't introduce something that crosses into Instagram and Facebook, and then people just go to use the original apps. Like, it's kind of a double standard. I don't know why it's like that.
Like, I don't know one single person, like one young person that uses Facebook.
I mean, I use Facebook to watch interesting videos.
I use it sometimes, like not to bang out, but just to keep up with whoever's on there, innit? Because you know that you don't have the same people on everything.
I used to have Facebook like 2011, but like that's about it.
Do you know that's the next thing actually that makes private stories beneficial? It's good that you brought that up. I remember in the past sometimes you might just remove people or block people because you don't want them to see what you're doing. At least with a private story you can pick and choose who, because you know you might have little like snitches and that, you know, people that, you know, they'll tell on you what you're doing, so you couldn't have them.
Cousins.
Siblings.
And the aunties.
Yeah, or just certain people from your school where you know they'll just move mad, and when you see them in person they're just all talking to you about your snaps.
The aunties on WhatsApp penalty.
And their status changes every week.
Oh no, but you know what? I feel like when I'm like that, I'll bang out socials like that too. I'll be on WhatsApp status, just posting all the time. Snapchat is where it gets a bit complicated. But
we have to remember that WhatsApp and Instagram are Facebook subsidiaries. So like if Facebook has a subsidiary, I mean, so like if Facebook has stories, then obviously the smaller companies will also have the
that comes on the Facebook.
Yeah, they've got.
I feel like Instagram stories did kill Snapchat stories big time.
It did.
They robbed them.
And they benefited so much, like.
That's when I lost interest in Snap. Because I remember when Instagram stories first came out, we're like, what? You're copying Snapchat, you're copying. I'm one person that loves or using Instagram stories though now.
Yeah, just to repost.
And they're built better now. Like, I'm deep in there's a lot more you could do with Instagram stories than than Snap. So it's a bit tight.
But Instagram is so dead now. I'll be so real.
Yeah. I think all social media you get tired of after a while.
No, like
They do. They serve their course, innit? So, guys, do you think that private stories has ruined Snapchat? Yes or no? Okay, we'll take it in turns, yeah? I'll start. I think yes, but it depends how you want to look at it. Depends how you want to use Snap. Me, in terms of everybody else, I think has ruined it, but it's benefited me because I can post a bit more with more freedom. But for other people now, it's kind of like, oh, why is their profile look a bit dry? Like they haven't posted much. But it's because they're the private story. So it just depends how involved you are with everybody else's. Who's next?
I personally think private stories have ruined Snapchat. Simply
Okay.
because of the stuff I see and the stuff I know. So let's just keep it like that.
Okay.
What PTSD do you have from private stories?
No, even PTSD, it's just what I see. Like
Save in her.
I don't want to get into it. because
Someone
then
broke her
I'm-
heart in it.
Nah. Okay.
I know that MTM removed her from the private story.
Oh, I'm done talking.
Oh my days.
Right.
What about you, Ibs? What do you think?
You know what is my personal opinion? Yeah, I think that private stories are actually like they didn't ruin Snap, but like the period after it came out, I think everything went downhill in it. Like for Snap, like the updates weren't getting any better. Yeah, like after private stories were introduced. So I think if you look at it from that way, then it did ruin Snap in it. Yeah.
What do you think, Jason?
I think it's ruined Snapchat in terms of people being very, very two-faced and half-hearted.
Who's been shading Jason, please? Just
But I will stress on the two-faced point because you know it's very Jekyll and Hyde. Like, come on, like on your main you're this very presentable person, but on your private you're just
But anyway, Ruth, what about you? What do you think?
I feel like if private stories weren't there, a lot of people wouldn't be on Snapchat anymore. So I wouldn't say that it ruined Snapchat as much, in the sense that it has given us more flexibility for people to see what we want and for them not to see what we want as well. So I would say it actually hasn't. I feel like I would have deleted Snapchat a lot.
No, do you know what? I actually think you're right. Without private stories, I don't think Snap would have lasted this long. Now that I think
too
about
smart for us.
it. Yeah. But anyway, guys, I've got to wrap it up now because I think we've gone into half an hour. Guys, thank you so much. If you've reached the end of this podcast, you already know you're a winner. Big up yourself 1,000 times. Thank you so much for supporting.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, most importantly,
thank you
thank you
for
to
having
all of you for being on here. We've got Ruth, we've got Aseye, Jason, Ibs. I want to connect with everybody who's been in this episode today. All of their socials will be in the description. Be sure to add up the podcast page. And also, if you want to connect with me personally, my Instagram, everyone will be in the description. And thank you so much once again. And until next time, stay tuned. Bye.